Before we let the trumpets blare and the sweat hit the canvas, here's a quick 170-word pulse check to hook every YouTube search engine and fight film fanatic in one lightning jab. You're about to discover 30 little-known facts about Rocky II, 1979, each one a fortified dose of behind-the-scenes drama, filmmaking grit, and pop culture gold that SEO algorithms crave. Whether you punched in Rocky franchise trivia, Sylvester Stallone directing debut, or Apollo Creed rematch secrets, you've ducked into the right corner. Think of this as your ringside ticket to the untold battles that unfolded long before the cameras rolled: torn muscles, midnight rewrites, studio panic, and a flock of renegade chickens. Stay till the final bell, and you'll leave with insider intel powerful enough to make even Mickey yell, "You're gonna eat lightning and crap thunder." Smash that like button, subscribe for more deep-cut movie lore, and let's touch gloves with history. When director John G. Avildsen left, United Artists panicked. Could an actor with no directing credits command a $7 million set? Stallone treated the doubt like a sparring partner. He devoured Scorsese commentaries on VHS, spent late nights grilling veteran cinematographer Bill Butler on why certain lenses hit like an uppercut, and filled hotel walls with index card storyboards mapping every jab, hook, and training beat. On day one, he walked onto a Philly backlot in a leather bomber jacket, shouted, "Let's move! We're burning daylight," and shocked a union crew by nailing the first complex Steadicam shot in 3 takes. By rap, he'd micromanaged lighting cues, rewritten dialogue on his knee between setups, and turned skepticism into respect, cementing that the Italian stallion could fight just as hard behind a viewfinder as in the ring. The razor-thin 1976 Ali Norton decision irritated purists. Stallone smelled box office gold. He screened grainy tapes for Carl Weathers and fight choreographer Jimmy Gambino, freeze-framing Ali's looping overhand right so Weathers could mimic it with balletic precision. To replicate controversy, Stallone scripted Apollo entering the ring, seething at sports writers questioning his legacy, mirroring Ali's bruised ego. Even the promotional billboards in the film echo Ali's real-life "I'm the greatest" bravado. The payoff is palpable. When Creed snarls, "Ain't gonna be no rematch," every boxing historian knows the ghost of Ken Norton is haunting that canvas. Stallone's deal was brutal: finish a usable draft in 90 days or lose the sequel. He checked into a Revolutionary-era hotel overlooking Independence Hall, taped blackout curtains to the windows, and attacked a manual typewriter so hard the front desk complained about rhythmic banging at 4 a.m. He wrote 10 drafts, each thicker than the last, pacing hallways in boxing boots to keep the energy up. Location scouts slipped handwritten notes under his door. Fish Market wants $750 to close early. Those nuggets went straight into scene descriptions, which is why Rocky jogs past real vendors who demanded cameo fees. A night manager later bragged, "I heard the coma twist 3 weeks before the studio did." The original Rocky's entire budget wouldn't have paid for the sequel's crane rentals. With $7 million, Stallone secured proto-Steadicams, miles of dolly track, and a 700-person crowd for the Spectrum Arena shoot. Yet he still pinched pennies. Apollo's red, white, and blue robe from Part 1 was rebeaded, not remade. Locker room walls were repainted cardboard flats from a Burt Reynolds comedy wrapping next door. Every dime saved went to film stock so the climactic fight could be covered from 38 angles, unheard of in 1979. Determined to lift on screen what Rocky could lift in fiction, Stallone loaded 220 pounds on a real bench press. On Rep 3, he felt a wet zipper rip, his pectoral tendon detached. The scream halted cameras. Emergency surgeons reattached muscle with stainless steel sutures. Insurance demanded a 6-week shutdown. Stallone signed a personal liability waiver promising to shoot dialogue scenes left-handed until the right healed. He spent recovery nights re-storyboarding the fight to minimize right-hook impacts. Some wide shots hide a supportive tape under his robe, proof the pain never left. Stallone despised phony swing and miss choreography. He told Weathers, "Tag me light, but tag me honest." Over 5 grueling weeks, they logged 300-plus controlled impacts. Makeup artist Michael Westmore often dabbed real blood, photographed it for continuity, then covered it with fake blood so the pattern matched between takes. One body shot cracked a rib. Stallone popped aspirin, wrapped tape, and rolled camera again, because bruises heal, but bad footage lasts forever. Weathers' secret weapon was NFL muscle memory. He summoned ex-49ers receiver Gene Washington for dawn foot speed drills on an empty practice field. They practiced pivot step shuffle combos until Weathers could glide like Ali in slow motion. Sports Illustrated later wrote the footwork looked like wide receiver cuts performed in 16-ounce gloves, making Apollo the antithesis of Rocky's lumbering power. Talia Shire was in her second trimester during hospital scenes. Wardrobe's workaround declare it Philly winter in July, layering her in thick cardigans and cinching coats just below the bust. Cinematographer Bill Butler angled key lights high, letting shadows erase the bump, while ivy poles and floral arrangements formed accidental camouflage. Editors trimmed wide shots. Audiences never knew an actual baby was on the way, as Adrian whispered "win" to her fictional husband. Stallone refused Los Angeles back lots. He wanted the smell of sewer steam and cheesesteak onions in every frame. Vendors at the Italian market demanded cash up front and free catering. The hamburger shop cameo cost extra when the owner insisted on lifetime premiere tickets for every future Rocky film, a contract MGM honors to this day. Locals reported a 30% uptick in tourism within a year of release, proof that authenticity sells. While scouting at dawn, Stallone spotted joggers charging the 72 steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Inspiration lightning struck. He added a stair sprint to the montage that very afternoon. A Steadicam operator trudged backward up all 72 steps, 7 takes in, before collapsing with leg cramps. Today, Google Maps literally labels the site Rocky Steps, welcoming 4 million tourists annually who mimic the triumphant double fist salute. Early drafts killed Mickey with a ringside heart attack. Test audiences revolted. Mailbags of letters begged Stallone for mercy. He rewrote overnight. Mickey collapses but survives, redoubling Rocky's motivation. Burgess Meredith snuck "Stay Alive, Kid" into an ad-libbed take as a quiet thank you to fans who spared his character and secured his job for Rocky III. Stallone's solution to blank-page terror? Dictate Mickey monologues into a tape recorder while pacing hotel hallways in boxing gloves. He'd transcribe verbatim the next morning, often discovering accidental poetry like "Women Weaken Legs," which became gospel for trainers everywhere. The tactic inflated Mickey's screen time by 20%, but also deepened the mentor-protege bond. Burt Young served in the Marines and boxed as an amateur. Director Stallone let him off the leash in the butcher shop scene. Young smashed prop beer bottles, sent fluorescent lights shattering, and unloaded real expletives. The unscripted violence looked so authentic they kept everything, even the $900 broken tube light, arguing it cheaper than reshoots. Roberto Hands of Stone Duran wasn't on any payroll memo. He was in town promoting a fight and dropped by out of curiosity. Stallone offered scale pay and Cuban cigars for a cameo. Duran stayed 3 days, schooling Weathers on liver shot angles. Insiders credit those lessons for the cringe-worthy body blows that make audiences squirm. Stallone commandeered a rented hotel ballroom, taped X marks for every foot placement, and ran the 15-round fight like a dance rehearsal, 10,000 punches thrown before cameras rolled. A visiting NASA engineer compared the precision to lunar module docking. On shoot day, 3 camera teams covered floor, crane, and ring rope vantage points, creating coverage so robust film schools still dissect the sequence. Accelerated frame Panavision cameras cost $100,000 for one afternoon, but Stallone gambled the budget on a dreamlike climax. Shooting at 100 FPS turned collapsing bodies into floating giants, inspiring later sports films like Any Given Sunday. ESPN still slots the clip into fight docs because nothing screams drama like 2 foes falling in synchronized agony. Take 12 of round 14. Weathers cross lands off mark, swelling Stallone's right eye instantly. Makeup rushed ice. Stallone rewrote dialogue on the spot, instructing Burgess Meredith to bark, "You're blind, kid!" The genuine injury heightened stakes and saved footage that might otherwise have cost a reshoot day and thousands of dollars. Talia Shire visited Temple University's neuro-ICU, observing eyelid tremors and slack jawlines. She practiced lowering her heart rate with breathing exercises so monitors wouldn't spike during filming. Doctors who saw advanced screenings praised her uncanny realism, a badge of honor seldom given to a boxing sequel. Stallone battled dyslexia since childhood, often flipping letters during table reads. He injected the flaw into Rocky, having him stumble over Thomas the Tank Engine to Adrian. The vulnerability resonated with fans who saw their own struggles mirrored in a cinematic hero, giving Balboa a humanity money can't buy. Composer Bill Conti expanded his original 37-piece ensemble to a 90-instrument juggernaut, layering gospel choir vocals and disco-era hi-hats. Recorded on MGM Stage B, the remix single Gonna Fly Now 79 rocketed to number 1. 2 on Billboard's Hot 100, a near impossibility for a sequel soundtrack, proving musical adrenaline sells as well as cinematic drama. Stallone insisted on catching a live Rhode Island Red for authenticity. 3 chickens rotated to avoid fatigue. 1 escaped onto a rush-hour streetcar track, stalling a SEPTA trolley. Philly tabloids headlined, "Movie Star Loses to Chicken," giving the production free PR and the city its oddest traffic jam. Casting needed 100 schoolchildren for the running montage. 400 showed, lured by word of free hoagies. When Stallone rounded the corner, the unscripted mob engulfed him. Police formed a human funnel so cameras could roll. The raw energy, kids screaming, "Rocky," unscripted, gave the montage its electric pulse. United Artists feared the sequel might tarnish an Oscar crown, so they slashed Stallone's directing fee by $500,000. He countered, "Waive the cash for back-end points." The gamble paid off when Rocky II grossed $200 million worldwide, netting Stallone nearly $10 million, 10 times the lost salary. Rocky II opened to $6.4 million, triple the original's debut, and finished 1979 behind only Kramer vs. Kramer and Moonraker. Adjusted for 2025 inflation, its haul tops $800 million, making it one of the most profitable sports sequels ever, and cementing Stallone's clout for decades. Roger Ebert admired the visceral ring craft, but missed Part 1's indie grit, awarding 3 of 4 stars. Variety shrugged at predictability, yet hailed the climactic fight as square circle opera. Decades later, the 70% Rotten Tomatoes score still fuels pub arguments. Heartwarming triumph or formulaic déjà vu? Insurance begged him to fake body blows. Stallone refused, citing Chaplin's philosophy. Audiences smell fraud. He iced swollen arms nightly, saw chiropractors at dawn, and risked permanent nerve damage. But the raw connection sells in 4K restorations where every vein pops. Carl Weathers binge-watched Ali press conferences, mimicked fingertip push-ups, and rehearsed rhyming taunts until they flowed like rap bars. He even adopted Ali's signature shuffle, forcing Stallone to adjust Rocky's slower cadence so the fight felt like blue-collar slugger versus flamboyant showman, a culture clash on canvas. Hank Searles's novelization includes Rocky visiting a pre-draft gravestone for Mickey, a scene shot but tossed when fans demanded Mickey live. Studio Storage purged the negative in a 1984 vault cleanup, making the paperback the only surviving record. Collectors now pay triple digits for copies. Rocky II's success greenlit 4 direct sequels, 3 Creed spin-offs, a Broadway musical, arcade cabinets, and a 2025 MGM Plus prequel series set during Philly's 1967 sanitation strike, illustrating how a single sequel can birth an entire cinematic universe long before the MCU made it trendy. The infant Rocky cradles is Sergio Stallone, born weeks prior. Sylvester, beaming with paternal pride, ad-libbed softer vocal cadence to soothe his real son, then kept a framed still on his office wall. He calls it the true championship belt, reminding him every career victory pales beside fatherhood. The final bell rings, but don't trek back to the locker room yet. Here comes a 170-word curtain call, overflowing with SEO magnetism and subscriber bait. 30 hidden gems later, you've witnessed the blood, bruises, and brainstorms that forged Rocky II into a boxing movie legend. We uncovered Stallone's midnight typewriter duels, Carl Weathers' NFL footwork hacks, and the rogue chicken that almost derailed a multi-million-dollar take. If today's deep dive amped your film buff biceps, hammer that like, pepper the comments with your favorite Apollo taunt, and jab the subscribe bell so you never miss another round of heavyweight Hollywood trivia. Share this video with every underdog you know. The fighter who needs that final push up the steps, the screenwriter staring down a blinking cursor, the fan who still hums "Gonna Fly Now" at the gym. Until next time, keep your guard high, your heart higher, and remember, every champion started out chasing a dream, and sometimes a chicken, through the streets of Philadelphia.